Someone's knocking on my door. Hold on one second. And every value bake. Did I do something again? So fancy. Okie doke. Hey fellow fiction fanatics, I'm Chase. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be judging books by their similar covers. So here are some books that I think look alike. So let's get into it. The first two books I have are In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle and In Other Lands by Sarah Reese Brennan. Both of these books have a off-white cover and a blue written font, as well as some drawn artwork in the background. And for these reasons, I think these books look really similar. The next two books I'm going to talk about are The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winters and The Bone-Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. Both of these books have similar color schemes and have the white stonework in the background. This might just be a me thing, but I think these books look really similar. The third pair of books I'm going to talk about is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon and I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. The reason I think these two books look alike is because of the rainbow pattern in both of them. I'm a sucker for rainbow covers. I think they are just absolutely gorgeous. I read The Sun is Also a Star and I'm looking forward to reading I'll Give You the Sun. The fourth pair of books I'm going to talk about is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson and The Throne of Glass, but the original covers with an actual person on the cover. Both the color schemes and the pose of the characters are quite similar. And also the title definitely has a factor in this, and that's why I think these two look very much alike. The fifth pair of books I'm going to talk about is Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessl and The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. These two books definitely give me the same vibes because of the ocean and the person that's also the landscape and the waves crashing onto them. When I first saw The Ones We're Meant to Find, I literally thought they were the same cover for a second, and I had to go back and look at the other one. The sixth pair of books I'm going to talk about are Off the Page by Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer. And I'm really sorry, but I don't know how to say the author's name, but it's The Book Jumper by Mathilde Glaser or Glaser. I'm really not sure, so sorry about that. So these two books both have these paper characters coming out of the books, and I feel like the character was pulled out and then they just became more elaborate. I really enjoy both of these covers and I can't wait to read both of these. These next couple books I'm going to talk about definitely fit into the category of if I didn't know any better, I'd think these were a part of a series. So the seventh pair of books I'm going to talk about is The Guest List by Lucy Foley and Every Value Break by Peter Swanson. I think these two were part of a duology that has both a mystery, a secluded island, and a wedding element to them. The eighth pair of books I'm going to talk about, if I didn't know any better, I would think that Crave by Tracy Wolff was part of the Twilight series. I mean, look at New Moon in comparison. These two books look so much alike, it's insane. The rest of the Crave series covers definitely are more distinct, but this one in particular very much has Twilight vibes. I'm just telling the truth here. And the last three books I'm going to talk about are Lock Every Door, There's Someone Inside Your House, and The Return. If I didn't know these books were by different authors, I'd think they were part of a trilogy. Alright, so now on to some honorable mentions. These first two books are All the Bad Apples and The Spellbook of the Lost and Found. These are included in my honorable mentions because they are both by the same author, which explains why they look so much alike. And the last books I'm going to talk about are The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning and Cast in Firelight by Dana Swift. When I saw these two covers, I literally thought one was the sequel to the other, and then I realized they were by different authors. But the reason it's going in my honorable mentions is because I recently found out that the reason they're so similar is because they had the same cover artist. So that makes a lot of sense. They might have needed to change it a little bit more so people wouldn't get so confused. But I do think both of these covers are gorgeous and I definitely want to read both of these, so I am very intrigued. So those are all the books that I think look similar. I'd love to know some books that you think look alike down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share the love. I'll see you next time. Bye!